This week on Red Arrows,
we wanted to put the axe down on him for sure. I was thinking about slipping that muzzy right down through his spine into his heart and lung area.
Keith's in a different tree. I guarantee y'all shaking his tree too.
Well, hey, if you caught the show last week, we had a little accident with one of our bows. Well, I get the camera on Jeff and I see Jeff looking at the bow like, what happened here?
It is pushing.
I think it was because it was so close. Did you feel the bow kick back?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Because the gator was right there.
When I leaned over in the front to get the good angle on it, the cam, when it rolled back over, hit the metal of the bow, punching the string to the side and pushing it over.
I think Jeff and Mitch were trying to be like positive and best case scenario, like, oh no, it's gonna be okay. And I see Josh back perched up on the top of the airboat and he's like, well, we get back home from the Everglades, which brings us up to Virginia deer season. Basically, that's the most excited we get all year is the opening day of our home state season, and I'd be really excited at this point if I had a bow that actually had a string on it. So my plan was to call up PSE and say, hey, we've got an issue here. I got to have a bow to hunt with.
Where's your bows?
Where are my bows? I think they're on the front porch. I don't know.
Outside.
I think our PSE bows are here. Let's go check them out. Luckily, we get it set up pretty quick. We got it tuned up down at the hunting shack, and we were ready to rock and roll for opening day of Virginia season. The other major tool that we used this year was our Buckeye trail cameras.
Tell them. Say we're putting out our Buckeye trail cameras.
Putting out our Buckeye cameras.
That's right. Close enough.
I'll hold it.
Okay.
Go hold it.
Good job. Can you push that button right there? I like your boots.
So basically, the hit list is growing every day. We got 3 that make the top of the hit list. You got Horsebuck, who's a mature 8-pointer. You've got Trainwreck, who is just a old gnarly buck that is going way downhill. And then you've got the main one that we're after, which is Sticker. Well, like I said, we had some great bucks on the property, really, really good bucks for Central Virginia, and 3 in particular that stuck out as definite shooters for the season.
It is 12:30. It's opening day of Virginia bow season. Kat and I are headed back to my buddy Keith Jones's house. And where we hung those stands in the summer, we've got a blue ribbon wildlife food plot right beside us. Keith said he'd been seeing the same 6 deer pretty consistently down in the bottom there. And he's gonna hunt with us tonight too. He's gonna self film. I'm hoping we see old Sticker or the horse buck or any of those bucks. Because we need some meat. Anyway, don't waste too much tape on me running my mouth. Let's just go hunting.
After we figured out what kind of deer we had and just where they were going, we went and hung a bunch of double sets of old man tree stands. 2 places in particular were really good spots. We went and hung a bunch of double sets of old man tree stands. First place was a little stand on the front field. It was kind of low to the ground, but it was right in the spot where we were seeing the most deer activity. And the only problem with it is every time we would hunt the daggone stand, the wind would swirl in that bottom. Well, the first deer we were going after was Horsebuck. He was coming out of either 1 or 2 fields every day. Kat was gonna film me and Keith was gonna self-film.
Well, Lord, it's been a long time now, trying to rid the memories but don't know how. So many things done wrong, feeling lost like you don't belong. Well, yeah, it's time to move along.
Natural camouflage. Boy, for this stupid wind, I'd be really excited. But they come from all over. They'll come from across that creek sometimes, too. Kat and I weren't having much luck at all. I mean, we saw plenty of wildlife that day, just not the wildlife we were looking for. We saw a Boone and Crockett groundhog. You know, we'd always seen good deer on Keith's property, and the problem was there were so many crops on a couple farms beside us that when hunting season opened up, all these deer were kind of holding tight to these cornfields. And we really needed something where we could compete with these other farms. Well, the solution that we had to hold more deer this year was Blue Ribbon Wildlife Food Plots. It's early October, and horsebuck comes out in the field Keith's sitting on. He comes out there and puts on a little show for an hour or so, but he stays outside of 70 yards the whole time he's in the field. Well, this deer horsebuck did exactly what most deer do when you think you have the perfect plan. He came right in between Keith and I, and then he stayed about 75 yards away from Keith, so nobody got a crack at him that first night. Well, we get down to the low grounds that next day, and of course the wind is all screwed up again. So I said, you know, let's just go jump in that backfield. We've had a couple videos of the deer, but we hadn't seen them back there in a while, so let's just take a chance on that backfield. Keith and I, we're back out here in one of our favorite stands. We own this stand. Real early season, and got a Blue Ribbon Wildlife Food Plot back here. And I'm not gonna say, I don't want to say it, but we almost got the wind right for this hunt too. So you never know. We might say old Mac Daddy tonight. Keith and I hadn't been sitting there very long, and deer started filtering out into the food plot. I look down at this doe that's over to my right, and she is staring hardcore at the back left-hand side of the field. I look down at this doe that's over to my right, and she is staring hardcore at the back left-hand side of the field. While I'm looking at the doe staring at the corner, Keith is behind me so he can see even less than I can, and all of a sudden, I just see Sticker just step out right into the opening. Another buck stood there at 35 yards and gave us a shot for a while, but Sticker was on his way, and that's definitely the deer I was going to wait on. So this deer, he's feeding his way in. He's in range, but he's just facing us.
Down, Keith, we got the big boy. Keith's in a different tree. I guarantee y'all shaking his tree too.
I wasn't sure which one you were going to shoot at first. I said, God, which one's the biggest one? I couldn't
That's the
tell.
longest.
I was like, which one was the biggest one?
The PSE only put on his rear end.
Couldn't ask for a better shot, buddy.
Thank you, Lord. That's all you, man.
When I got the arrow into him and watched that rack start swaying back and forth and the lights went out, I just fell apart, man. I was so excited.
Got a sticker, son. That sticker buck. He is down,
How
baby.
far was it? 20 yards?
23.
23.
This deer would just not turn broadside. When he took a half step, he was slightly quartering to me, but I snuck that muzzy just on the back side of his shoulder blade and punched out the other side, and you know, he didn't go 65 yards.
We're gonna go get him. He fell right here. Come on.
Oh, he is beautiful, Kip. Oh my gosh. Look at him.
Look at that right there.
Oh, that is awesome, baby. Woo.
That sticker.
Yep.
We got tons of Buckeye cam pictures of him, man. That old muzzy bad to the bone worked on him, son. That was downward
Yep.
shot angle right there. Gosh, dog, look at that buck, Keith. That is a nice buck.
He is beautiful, Kip.
That is a nice buck. He'll
I think
score.
he'll make a nice little mount. What do you think?
I think he will. I believe he's going on the wall, son. Gosh, Keith, man, let me shake your hand on camera. I got to get it. Thank you, brother.
You got it,
You're
buddy.
the man. Hey, just the man right here. Keith Jones. Hey,
We've
you
been
know,
working for 2 years to try to get one like this, man.
hadn't we? I just shot the biggest buck I've ever seen out of an old man tree stand. You ever seen that commercial? Hey, baby, look at that thing.
Oh man, gorgeous.
All that hard work keeps paid off, man.
Yes, sir, really, buddy.
I appreciate it, dude.
You're welcome,
You're the man.
man. Anytime.
Keith Jones is the man, in case y'all didn't know. You better ask somebody. Great day. Let's get him home, man. I want to show Cat and the girls.
Well, the only thing that tops killing a big buck is killing a big buck in your hometown and being able to bring it home to your family.
Yeah, that's him. That's old Matt
Oh my
Daddy. Remember that little guy?
goodness, he told me he killed a doe.
Got her out here with the doe because I knew she'd run me over.
Oh my goodness,
Look at that buck, Addie.
baby!
High five.
Yes!
High five. Yeah.
You know, this deer meant a whole lot to me just because I'd got to watch him all summer. He was a heck of a deer for our county.
What you call it came out with him? High buck came out.
Oh, really?
High was nice too. He's nicer than he looks on the trail camera.
Yeah? Give Daddy pounds. Say good job, Daddy.
There you go.
Oh, whoa.
What was he eating?
Early or late? Early. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, dude. I think it was like 5 o'clock, 4:45, something like that. Maybe a little later than that.
And they had eaten that plot down to dirt. It was just a lot of fun to be around my family and get to share this experience with them. Well, we had killed number 1 on the hit list, but we still had 2 and 3 left to kill. When we headed out that evening, I was looking for one of 3 things. A good doe to put in the freezer, either horse buck or train wreck. So we were gonna go out and see if we couldn't get it done. We get out there pretty late. I think it was almost like 3:30, 4 o'clock when we were easing back there to that back stand. And there's like a big dip that rises up into the food plot. So you can pretty well sneak up on the field and see what's in it before anything would ever see you. We pop up over the rise and I see this little doe. I'm looking at her and she's, 56 yards or something like that. Let's get 5-6 yards or something. Let's get a little bit closer and I'm gonna shoot her. And this was a perfect opportunity to put some meat in the Campbell freezer.
Keith and I were just discussing how we need some meat. We'll go pick her up my hatter and then we're gonna start hunting.
So anyway, I turned this arrow loose and whop, right in the rib cage, man. She went, I think she made it pretty long way. She went about 12 yards before she did a backflip. Next week, we're gonna come out here and see if Kat can't get her very first deer with a bow.
This is my first day of hunting.
I was really itching to get Kat out there and let her have a crack at some of these deer.
First times I've gotten to go since last year.
Being the loving husband that I am, I made Kat drag him down in the creek and gut him herself. I got my lovely assistant, Catherine, with me. Uh-oh. Well, hey man, this week I got to kill the biggest deer I've ever killed in Palouse County. Let's see, one more time. Uno mas, as the Spaniards say. Well, hey, I got to kill the biggest deer I've ever seen in an old man tree stand. I killed my biggest Virginia bow kill ever. Well, next week it's Kat's turn to see if she can't come out here, right here in this basement, and kill a deer. And it'll be amazing, because that's the only one down here. And if she kills him, I'd be shocked, because he's dead as a fence post. What's my line? My brain's starting to hurt. All right. He's going to come out here with that big old bat of his.
The whistle tip go woo woo. Woo woo.